right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Enough About the Game. We are here. We have finally reached it, gentlemen. We have finally reached.
Ooh.
It's week 1, NFL. I can't wait. Tomorrow night, Thursday night kickoff. Are you guys excited?
Oh, man. So stoked.
So
Just goosebumps you saying it right now.
I know, right? Man, listen, I don't know how my work is going to expect me to focus tomorrow at all.
Should be understood.
It's not, though. It's not.
Aren't you up in Buffalo?
I am. All right, I am.
So it should be an understood thing.
It's not, though. It's not an understood thing. Like, you got to understand, like, well, I don't know. I'm not going to dive into the deeps of it, or I'm not going to dive too far deep into it, but let's just say not everybody is a fan of sports. So,
Sports.
Just sports in general. Just sports in general. Not everyone is a fan of sports, so.
'Tis a shame.
Tis a shame. So, all right, what's up, guys? So we got some things happening today, right? We got quarterbacks, tight ends ranking, right? We want to finish up our ranking. We got some week 1 predictions. We got a little special segment, right? We'll leave that surprise. And then we're gonna cap it all off with some probably end of the year awards, right?
Yeah. Why not put our stamp on guys that we're feeling hyped up and whatnot about?
Yeah, some guys that we might have bought in pretty hard on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, after doing 20, 30, 40 different types of drafts, you start seeing where your stock is like mainly invested in. You're like, oh, all right, well, please perform for me.
It's up to you.
I'm relying my family's entire livelihood is based off of you performing in fantasy this year.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's a joke.
Yo,
don't worry.
You guys see that tweet that St. Brown sent out? Or yeah, somebody sent him remember
Yes.
No.
So somebody, some fan out there drafted him on St. Brown, and he sends him a message in Instagram, a direct message in Instagram, and it says something, and he ends up quoting the entire Denzel Washington speech from Remember the Titans, like perfection, if you fumble the ball, you will run a mile. If you miss a block, you will run a mile. Like it was so funny, man. Like, and he's like Amon St. Brown's tweet. He was just like, "Yo, this shit happened." Right? Like this really, it's awesome. Oh man. So, yeah, man. I mean, without further ado, I say we get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Jumping into the exciting tight end side or QBs first.
I mean, I guess we will go with the more exhilarating position there in tight end.
Mm-hmm. I had a feeling that was the case.
I mean, we got to build it up, right? Because obviously everyone really just comes here for the quarterback rankings, right?
Yeah, you got to string them along at least for 5 minutes.
All right. If you follow us on Twitter, this is actually this is our top thread, pinned to our page there. So this is a Google Doc that is available to anybody if you want to go check it out. But this is all of our rankings for positional players. This upcoming, these are fantasy football rankings. So this is not essentially, who we think the best is at this position. Even though they're probably, some of them.
There's correlations.
Yeah, there's correlations for sure. So essentially what we did is all three of us ranked our own, and then we kind of averaged it out to see where we thought. And unanimously, we'll start it off with we all came to agreement that Mark Andrews is the best and probably will be the best fantasy football tight end.
Oh, no doubt.
Yep. No argument there.
Yeah, and I think that really just comes down to, just to kind of put it in perspective, I was talking to my brother last night, and I was kind of explaining to him about target shares, and I think Mark Andrews, and we have Kyle Pitts at 2, and this is kind of the same philosophy goes with both. in terms of target shares. They are primary receivers in their offenses, and they will be targeted probably more than any other tight end in the league. And targets equal opportunity, which, create value. So, with hands down, we're pretty much, we all agreed on that across the board, right?
Oh yeah.
What were some tight ends that stuck out to you guys that we're kind of projecting a little bit higher than probably where they're going?
I mean, I'm looking at it on ours, and maybe not a consensus, but like where the average ends up. I really like where some of these players ended up being. I know I'm the lowest on him, but Dallas Goedert, I'm super hyped on him for this year. I'm the lowest on him at being overall 7. He's 4 overall on our board. Just to finish that up, we got Pitts 2, Travis Kelce 3, then Dallas Goedert 4. And he's kind of that first one that really stands out. A guy that maybe you can snag later on in a draft. I mean, they're all over. You could have snagged a little bit later than the others, but it still has the peak performance that some of the elite guys can actually have.
Yeah, what do you think about that, TJ?
No, I agree. I mean, him and Hurts had a good connection last year, and I could only see production going up with him. So, and he's only going to get better. What is his 3rd or 4th year coming into it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that easily could finish as a top 5 tight end at any year. So
what I really like, and I hate comparing one player to another, but where I graded, so out of the 3 of us, I had him graded the highest, and the reason being is because in terms of improvising on a play and Jalen Hurts and his escapability, I think the tight end becomes, and I feel like you kind of saw this with Mahomes for the last few years, with Kelce and the skyrocket that Kelce had. Not saying that Dallas Goedert is going to be Travis Kelce, but I think it's the same kind of situation. And I really think it creates a lot of opportunity for Dallas Goedert to kind of slip underneath the safeties there, or slip behind coverage, hey, I'm working my way over to the sideline, and I think it's going to create a lot of opportunity for him. They have a great connection. And then I don't want to say, I think the addition of A.J. Brown creates even more opportunity for the tight end to get targets, So that's why I had him graded super high, and I've been picking him in every draft that I have just because I'm really buying into him. In that whole opportunity. So yeah, I think he's probably our biggest, whoa, he's way up here, we won't get into the Zach Ertz thing.
Well, hey, I'll go ahead, and I know we won't want to cover up too long, so I'll read from there on. So Dallas Goedert 4, we got Darren Waller 5, then Dalton Schultz 6. Surprise one there, George Kittle down there at the overall 7 range. I know Fitz, you had a little bit of doing as to why he's so far down, but then we got Hawkinson 8, Ertz at 9 overall, Gesicki 10, Freiermuth 11, and Higbee 12. So yeah, I just want to kind of outline that while we talk about some of them.
Yeah, well, so real quick, I mean, I want to talk about this Kittle thing. I mean, look at he's questionable now going into week 1. And that just puts so much. I mean, George Kittle is a phenomenal athlete. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's a great tight end, but he has durability issues.
Yeah.
He has durability issues, and you have Debo and Brandon Ayuk, and you have Trey Lance. I mean, he probably, when healthy, he probably will get his looks from Trey Lance, but Trey Lance is gonna. He's got a big arm, and I think he's going to want to use it. And I see bigger plays coming out of, Brandon Ayuk and Debo Samuel this year, really, than George Kittle. And again, durability. That's why I had him ranked low. I had him ranked low. And I mean, even, today I had somebody call me today. They're like, Kittle's hurt. I don't want to play him this week, and David Njoku was available. And I said, Jacoby Brissett likes David Njoku. Just go ahead and pick that. Play him week 1. You'll be okay. So,
I mean, in those leagues, man, there's nothing wrong with just streaming that tight end spot.
Yeah.
Especially right now, there's a lot of that that depth in that 13 to 20 range. You know, those kind of top 20 tight ends. You can almost interchange them, just depending on the situation and who's got the hot hand.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, that kind of that was our top 10 there, right? Top
12.
12. Let's roll into quarterbacks because I really want to get into some week 1 talk, man. I'm so excited. I'm like on the edge of my seat. I can't wait.
Well, we'll just do the top 24 QBs then. Obviously, you can check out our lists.
Yeah.
Like we said, it's posted on Twitter.
So let's
unanimous number 1.
let's just get into it. Unanimous number 1. Josh Allen, the great one.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Like, listen, I've been waited my whole life for this. Okay, like we're favored to win the Super Bowl going into the start of the season. We got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, hands down. Like, I waited my whole life for this, man. I
bask in it.
Oh yeah, I am.
Enjoy it.
Do you guys not see my shrine behind me? Like, come on.
It's adorable.
And then rounding out top 5. I think the biggest surprise here for us is that we have Jalen Hurts ranked as 4. So we have Jalen Hurts ahead of Lamar Jackson. So it's Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson. I already kind of talked a little bit about Jalen Hurts, but why don't you guys chime in there? Like, what are your thoughts about Hurts being ranked there at 4?
I've had that, CJ.
Well, I have him as my number 6 quarterback, so I have Lamar ahead of him, with just the experience and everything. But Jalen, I mean, they bring in AJ Brown. If his accuracy and if he can just be consistent with his throws, he definitely could be a top 5 quarterback. You know, with the addition of AJ Brown, you got Devontae Smith, you got, even their running backs are a pass catching ability. So I mean, they have playmakers on the field, and I believe if he doesn't get it done either this year or next year, he won't be won't be an Eagle. So it's his time to shine.
Yeah, his NFL career, I don't want to say it's on the line, but as that starter reputation, having confidence behind him, is a hefty year on him, and I think his legs are going to carry through on the fantasy side to bring him into that. Like you said earlier, this isn't a top position, top player in that position ranking.
Right.
This is a fantasy ranking.
Yep.
And the legs are what's going to bring him in. If I was having a team, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson on a team than Jalen Hurts. But, that's not what we're ranking here.
See,
I think I would take Jalen Hurts in this situation because I think the team around him has a higher upside than Lamar Jackson's does. Philly has a really strong defense. They have that extra number 2 wide receiver in Devonta Smith. Like, I feel like he has, you still have question marks surrounding J.K. Dobbins, like that. I just don't feel like Baltimore is completely there yet to support Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson's points are going to come directly from him. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to create any opportunity or any points that he does. But that's saying something about Lamar Jackson, that we still have him ranked as 5, where, a majority of his points are going to come from himself or whatever kind of play he can create using his legs, which is going to free up Mark Andrews to correlate with us having him as the top rated tight end. So it's, I personally, I think I would take Jalen Hurts over Lamar Jackson, but yeah. Jumping in. So next 5, we got Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Matt Stafford, and Dak Prescott.
It's about normal.
Yeah, it's kind of we're still staying pretty book here.
Yeah.
Chalk.
Nothing crazy.
Evan, you and I were the same there with Brady. I mean,
Yeah.
the dude throws for 5,000 yards. He's got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And the
Good old
crazy,
Julio.
yeah, and who? Oh man, anybody that's like sleeping on Julio, dude, you're nuts, man. You're absolutely bonkers. So, where are we at? What did I do? 10? I went up to 10.
Dak Prescott, yeah, at 10. So then we can do the next 5. Russell Wilson at 11. Oh, wait.
No, go ahead.
You want to do something else there?
No,
Okay.
you.
So Russell Wilson 11, Trey Lance 12, Derek Carr 13, Aaron Rodgers 14, and Tua at 15. And on there, I'm probably the guy who's I'm not probably. I am the guy that's lofting up Tua into that top 15 range. Actually, I think CJ, you got him at 15, don't you? Yeah. But yeah, I've got him up in my top 12 QBs this year. I know I one of those moments where I realize, all the leagues you draft, best balls, everything. Start seeing guys you have stock in. That's one of them. Just because you buy them low, probably higher than a lot of people, is risky. But all he has to do, I'm making it sound simple, like it's just going out and taking the garbage out. It's you just have to build that chemistry with your 2 insanely athletic wide receivers. If you can get that timing and that trust set, he's accurate enough to let them both feast. Yeah. And I think that's it's going to let him leap into it.
And let the yak feed his points.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. No, I mean, theoretically it makes sense, right? I think you might be giving him a little bit more credit, or a little bit more credit for his accuracy than he might.
I'm not saying he's out there tossing perfect dimes.
No, I know.
Right.
I'm just gonna be upfront. I mean, as like a regular viewer, right? So like, I'm not considering myself any sort of pro at this at all. His release looks so slow, and I don't know if it has to do with the fact that he is left-handed or what, but his release looks so slow that timing, I feel like, is gonna like be an issue.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you can't turn down the yak. So
yeah, that's why I rate him, because he has so many, like, the running backs and all the receivers. The yards after catch is what's going to make him. So,
I had Russell. So you guys had Russell Wilson graded at 9. I actually had him graded at 15. Which is, I know it sounds crazy because he has this huge upside, this new addition, new team, everything like that. But I really feel like it's going to be a Javonte Williams type show there in Denver, because I think Denver gets ahead of games super quick, man. They have a solid defense. They have a great secondary. I think they get ahead of games quick, man, and they just try to kill the clock. I mean, Courtland Sutton's going to get his red zone looks because he's a huge, highly targeted, red zone guy. So you'll get points for touchdowns and stuff like that. But like the yardage, I don't know. He's probably throwing like 350 a game. Like, I don't think it's going to be anything insane. So, go ahead, Evan. Where were we at? 15.
We ended off at Tua. So yeah, we'll round it up to the 20 here. So at 16 we got Kirk Cousins, then Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Matt Ryan, and Mac Jones. The man, as I read that out loud, I feel like that's just you. It seems like like identical, like they're all almost like identical versions just
of each other.
Yeah, just in different stages of their career. Mine is Trevor Lawrence, and he's down here obviously. Also, if you're looking at these rankings source on our Twitter page, we also have our dynasty rankings in there too. So we have a tab down at the bottom for all these rankings for QB, tight end, running back, wide receiver. Clearly you see we have Trevor Lawrence higher there. That pedigree is there. It's just this year, you're looking at them. Yeah, I look at all those guys and.
So like, I got Daniel Jones boosted really high because of garbage time.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
You know,
You love those garbage time, man.
well, I mean, it's a true thing though, man. It really is. Like,
No, it is.
you can't play fantasy football looking at it as if it's real football. Like, fantasy football and real football are two different things, and garbage time is absolutely massive. You know,
Putting the most of your, I mean, I'm sure everybody loves watching Red Zone. That fourth quarter, once everything's hitting, you could be looking at your, your app. Oh shoot, my team is underperforming by like 20% of what they're supposed to. Out of nowhere, all those games going into the fourth quarter, you more than you double your points
Yeah.
in that one quarter. It's very true. That's when a lot of that happens.
and then to round it out, top 24, we got Justin Fields, Ryan Tannehill, Jameis Winston, and Carson Wentz, which I think is pretty accurate, because you got question marks surrounding Justin Fields, question marks around Carson Wentz and Jameis Winston. Ryan Tannehill, I think the only thing that's really lacking in Ryan Tannehill's department is offensive opportunity, really. I don't think they have a lot of offensive opportunity there. I really don't.
Yeah.
Robert Woods is we're huge avid Robert Woods fans here, but like Robert
Injury.
Woods is your number one receiver going into the season. Treylon Burks, you know, there was just the
Hasn't
hype
looked
around
like-
him coming out of camp was, you know, he's, you know, missing routes and not understanding the playbook and all sorts of stuff. You know, he was wide receiver 4 listed on their depth chart.
In the performance, yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think
You don't have a receiving running back, really. The tight end is nothing to, I mean,
Right.
nothing to get excited about.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I think main thing that'll get them up in there is that they're gonna, I think, consistently be in games. I don't think they're gonna be blowing anybody out. I don't think they're just always gonna be hanging around,
right. So
which
like
is gonna keep them
Ryan Tannehill
performing.
Ryan Tannehill to me becomes what Kirk Cousins has always been in regards to fantasy football. Kirk Cousins, no matter what you have around him, he is a 20-point game performer.
Yeah,
No matter what, man. Right? He has, like, his points are driven by the big plays of Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. You know, so he'll get a touchdown in like 70 yards because Dalvin Cook busted one. But like the reality of it is he's 20 for 35 with, you know what I mean? Like it's
For 270 yards.
Right. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nuts, dude. Like, it's nuts. And somebody, I don't know, some professional analyst out there picked him to be the league MVP this year. So, but we'll talk
I
about
saw that
one.
on Good Morning Football.
Yeah, it was actually Kyle Brandt. I'm a big Kyle Brandt fan. Like, I like Kyle Brandt and Good Morning Football. And, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
like
fun.
his enthusiasm about it. But, you know, I mean, he must have lost a bet to make that pick. I mean, I really...
I mean, they got a new head coach, and they're talking about they're going to air it out more, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. That is so that wraps up our top 24 QBs. And again, go follow us on Twitter at MBTG_podcast, and it is pinned to the top of our page. You can click on this link check out the sheets and the rankings yourselves. I mean, the dynasty might be something to look into, especially going into next year.
Oh yeah, bookmark it. Save that. Especially on those dynasty ones, we'll try to keep those updated, weekly, to where as things happen, as things flow around.
Absolutely.
I'll be in on that.
I mean, I would like to get into, proposing daily fantasy, like the DFS side of the like lineups and stuff like that. Maybe our top available lineups, best matchups, etc. That'd be something good to put on here. So yeah, this is going to be a living, breathing document, and we're going to continue to update it as the season continues. It is time.
Now.
Now it's time. No, that's not a good.
What was this? What? I don't even know. Was this supposed to be like Mission Impossible? Or
No, that was supposed to be the
The Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
No, it was supposed to be the NFL song or whatever on I think on CBS. I think
All
it is
right.
like that's what it was supposed to be. I butchered
Oh.
it.
Hmm.
You can always leave it up to me to always have one awful.
The beautiful segue.
Yes. Week 1. Let's get into it, man. So we picked out what 5 games, right? So these are the 5 closest games according to Vegas. Where the spread's almost what I think the highest was 4 points. So yeah, let's get into it. So I guess I will.
And just so everybody knows too on it, we'll be picking 5 every week, and we'll be kind of running a tally, see who gets the most right, get it going, more of an competitive side of things. So
we're making pretty good time here. We can actually take a second to maybe chat something out here.
Oh,
what's up?
Are we making a bet?
I think we are. I was going to propose a bet.
Okay.
Like loser has to, worst record has to do something live.
All right.
Ooh. Stream something on one of our platforms.
What
Oh man, I'm awful at thinking of bets on. If we have anybody listening right now, please start shooting out ideas in the chat. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean we got. Let me go check on our chat here. I mean, I'm just trying to, maybe like I would have to wear a Mac Jones jersey or something. I don't know, like.
And the impromptu betting is slightly backfiring on this one, but I like the idea of doing it. Let's mold this one.
Yeah, we will. We'll mull this one over for sure. All right. So I guess we'll kick it off with the NFL opener, huh? So we have Bills at Rams. Bills are actually favored 2.5 points. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it because I don't want to be biased.
Man. So, hey, I'll go first. I thought about this long and hard. I know how good Josh Allen and that offense is. And I know how good the Rams offense is with Cooper Kupp and the addition with Allen Robinson. Cam Akers is coming, fully back. This is a really tough spot, but I think I'm gonna play the villain and I'm gonna take the Rams. Just cause I don't know how much part would this have, but they're still without Tre'Davious White. And I don't know if they'll be able to dispose that, and that might hurt the Bills. So I'm going to take the Rams right now.
Nice.
So
now, before I dive into this, because I really do like that take, and I was in the same mindset of you, kind of going back and forward. The Tre'Davious White thing is a big asterisk that sits on there. But before I make it, we're just doing straight up game. We're not doing spread, right? Just straight up.
Yeah, money line.
Okay,
right?
just want to make sure.
Yep.
Yeah, just want to
no
make
spread.
sure. So, with that being said, I was still going with Buffalo. They're with them being away, it does play into that with the Tre'Davious White. I just think that there's more. I hate saying this because Rams being the Super Bowl champs, but continuity with Buffalo on that offensive side. I think they're going to be able to just carry that over with some of the lingering. They're saying Matthew Stafford's arm is fine. I'm sure it is, but a lot of Cam Akers. I'm not that big on him personally, period. I think him coming in, I think that Buffalo defense will be able to snuff what he's doing out. And I love Allen Robinson, and I love what he's going to bring to that team. But too many new things, and I think Buffalo is going to start the season off on an insane roll.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think the continuity of the Bills versus the continuity of the Rams with Allen Robinson and that connection. I mean, that's a great point. I mean, Allen Robinson, I'm big on him. I think by the end of the season, you're going to be like, holy smokes, dude, LA Rams are scary. But CJ brings up a great point too. The Bills are starting former 7th round pick Dane Jackson, and opposite of him is either going to be rookie corner Kaiir Elam or rookie corner
Belfort.
Bedford. Yes, CJ Bedford.
I've heard really good things about him.
Oh, I mean, two rookies making your two rookies at corner making your roster is a major deal, and they shut down. They shut down Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce and the weapons that they have over in Indianapolis earlier in the preseason. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I have to roll with the Bills. I can't bet against the Bills.
We knew that.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for letting me at least have my take there.
The ever so stimulating next one is super excited about it. You got Cleveland at Carolina.
I am excited about this game, dude.
Me too. I am for so many unexciting reasons, but where do you go? We'll let you go first on this one.
Oh, I'm going Carolina. I think offensive opportunity is there and defensive opportunity is there. I mean, you guys, anybody sleeping on Carolina's defense is crazy. Carolina had a great defense last year, and the only thing that kept them out of games was the inconsistency on offense. We know Baker Mayfield is durable. I mean, this guy is hung in there, and he's played with broken ribs and, bad elbows and arms and shoulders, whatever. So I don't think they have that issue there at quarterback. I'm excited for the revenge game. Cleveland has a great
revenge game.
Cleveland has a great defense, but I don't see, and we've talked about this over and over again, I don't see much offensive opportunity there at all. So I'm going to take Carolina Panthers.
Well, I'll carry through on that part then. I'm there with you. I put in my notes here, the defense holds their ground is what's going to really bring them up. The only thing that has me as a caveat of where Carolina can stumble, is and the main reason I don't really care for Baker Mayfield as a quarterback, and I think he's too emotional. He gets, and that could be a good thing, but that can also be a detriment. And I think he allows it to be a detriment sometimes. That competitiveness, I think in this, it could get, I don't know. That was a messy breakup the way that he left there. The only thing I see is that maybe he tries to be too much of the spotlights for that game, in which that's Cleveland could capitalize on it, because their defense could capitalize on it if he decides to get a little bit too, I don't know, Baker Mayfieldy. But I have Carolina.
So with that being said, I'm taking Carolina too, and that's why I think they rely on McCaffrey, and they're going to take it to the house. So Carolina,
let McCaffrey kind of balance out the Baker Mayfieldiness of it.
Yep.
I like it. I'm curious to see what McCaffrey's workload will be.
I'm hoping it's like total 18 touches with 12 runs.
Yeah.
Don't kill the man.
No.
I mean, he had great backup, so
I thought Chuba Hubbard provided with a great backup last year, and he really handled the workload. I mean,
and Foreman.
They have
Foreman's a great.
D'Onta Foreman's an awesome addition. I was so stoked for Carolina when they added him. So
no, they got plenty of compliments behind him to not burn him out.
Yeah. So that's the consensus there. The consensus is we are all on board with Carolina. So that's going to be the most exciting game, I think, really this weekend. It shouldn't be that exciting, right? Like, you look at it on paper and you're like, this isn't that exciting. But like,
no,
anybody that's a true football fan is like, oh yeah, this is it. This is like Avengers Endgame right here. Let's go, right?
Oh.
The next game on the list was New England Miami. So this is a really curious game. CJ, we'll let you take the lead on this.
All right, so They're playing in Miami. I'm gonna go with Miami, and I'm gonna say like Tua. Tua's he's gonna have a great game, but it's gonna be with Evans, and Water. These short little passes because New England. I mean, they always had a great defense, and I think Miami's defense is pretty good too. So I'm gonna stick with Miami and see what happens. Anybody
Evan?
want to go next?
Rock,
Oh, is
paper,
it on me there?
rock, paper, scissors? No, go ahead.
Yeah.
dude.
So in my notes here, I literally don't. I have everything usually set up, and I just have Miami. I don't have any. I don't have any reason why. It's just Miami.
I think that's a perfect take.
Yeah, it's. I wish I could get more in depth and philosophical about it, but that's all you're getting right now. I'll save that for other games.
Shows why he's going to be an RB1 this year. So
What's that?
I said Chase. They're going to show why Chase Evans was brought to Miami and why he will be a RB1 out of that
Yes.
offense.
Why Chase Edmonds? Why his ADP was so low, and why he was? I mean, he was available in 8th and 9th rounds in some of these drafts that I was in, man, and it's like I even reached on him in those rounds just because I don't want anybody else to take him at that point. But
Right.
they paid him big money to come there, and Mike McDaniel is that's what he did. That's what he was doing over there in San Francisco, running the ball. Chase Edmonds is an RB1. He'll might even be a top running back this season. I think it's a lot of smoke with the whole Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Not saying that they're not productive players, you know what I mean? But I just think that the hype around them is so big, and everyone's just forgetting about this running back, this dynamic running back in the backfield. Evan, you had a few takes, or you had a take, earlier in the offseason when you're like, Christian Kirk, Rondell Moore, it was Kyler Murray, Rondell Moore, and Chase Edmonds. Like, if they all wore the same jersey number, you wouldn't be able to tell who they were over there in Arizona. And I think it's good for Chase Edmonds to get out of Arizona because of that. And now the whole world is going to see how dynamic he is. I too am going to take Miami. So these,
Damn.
I know. And here's why. It really has nothing to do about all that hype that I just talked about Miami. It really has to do with the question marks surrounding who's calling the plays in New England. Because reports coming out of camp they looked sloppy on offense. There's confusion. There is just big question marks surrounding New England in that offense. And maybe it's just the media hyping up what they know to hype up. But I'm gonna take Miami.
So you and CJ and I, we're pretty much going with each other so far. I know you're keeping track of it over there.
CJ went with the Rams.
I went the Rams.
Oh shoot! Okay, so we at least have some deviation going on here.
Yeah, well, I think.
So
I'm sorry, guys. My wife just texted me. She said, "Oh my God, in 24 hours, I'll be pacing and swearing at the TV." She's a big Bills fan. She's a big Bills fan.
That's awesome.
So the next game is Green Bay, Minnesota.
No, Philly, Detroit. Or we could do Green Bay. Doesn't matter.
Green Bay, Minnesota, either one. Let's do Green Bay, Minnesota.
Hey, don't you know? Okay. Here, I'll take the lead here. I'm gonna go with Minnesota. Interesting. And simply because I think it's, I truly think it's time for Green Bay to be dethroned in the North. I think offensively, there's just a huge upside there in Minnesota. I think Minnesota. You got that stuck in my head now, Evan. And I think somebody that's really being slept on and that no one's really talking about or even drafting is Herb Smith Jr. up there, tight end in I don't know. I think going into it, I think Minnesota is a really complete team.
Who's what's the spread on that? Like who's favored?
Green Bay is favored 1.5. Minnesota is home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll carry on with it. I'm going to join you with Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
I just think that Minnesota healthy has better all around team. It sounds so generic, but they're just everything that they have put together. They have a better all around team to actually put a better record. I think they probably have a better record than Green Bay this whole season. So I'm going to go with Minnesota on that one.
I like it.
And I'm gonna round it out with Minnesota too. Like,
oh, dude, come on, man! Like,
no, I really like Minnesota. With the new head coach coming in, they're talking about they're gonna air it out more. So I see Kirk Cousins, having his numbers go up. I know Green Bay's got a good defense, but until Green Bay figure out who they're really going to throw to this year, I know they have Sammy Watkins, but he gets hurt a lot. They have Randall Cobb, who is old, and they got the rookies and Watson and Romeo Dubs. So hey, I'm with you guys. I like Minnesota. So
I just think,
yeah,
I think Green Bay needs to build chemistry offensively. And I think that's going to be a huge hiccup. I mean, you can't doubt Aaron Rodgers to do what Aaron Rodgers does, right? But at the same time, like, you have Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Romeo Dubs, and Robert Tonyan, like AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. I wouldn't be surprised if their workload is just massive this entire season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's in
Jones and Slut.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's probably the only consistent thing on that entire offense are those two. Like, so I just think it's a lot of question marks surrounding Green Bay offensively, which makes me favor Minnesota more.
And then the one I've been looking forward to.
Me too. I mean, if Green Bay, if Detroit. Wow, what am I about to say here? If Cleveland and Carolina weren't playing, this right here is like my game of the week. I'm super excited about this.
Philly at Detroit.
I think it's 4.5.
Is it Philly?
It's 4. Philly is favored on the road 4.
Ooh. Man. Who's going to jump first on this one?
I don't know, man. I kind of want to hear. I feel like CJ. Let's hear your pick first. I feel like Evan's got something really lined up for this one.
I've been on Detroit. Well, we all been on Detroit. Pretty high this year. I even looked at the game, and I don't know. As much as I don't like the Eagles, I think I am going to take the Eagles. I think Dallas Goedert is, like you said, he's gonna be that check down, tight end that help out Jalen Hurts, and I see big things happening. So I'm gonna go Philly.
And you go.
No, you go. You go.
Okay, fine. You pulled my arm. And like you said, we have all been pretty hot on Detroit, just with the team that they're building, where they can go this year. This is a competitive thing, so clearly we have some kind of pending bet. So we're not just kind of hype in. We want to prove who's the best picker, whatever it is. And so with that being said, I'm going to go with the sure money and hit up Detroit to win against Philly. Because I think that they are going to come out and they're going to come out hot. They've got the defensive youth that they've got going on. That line is outstanding. The offense that's where I think one of the things that we like so much about them is the youth that they've got, but they're so under the radar. Mm-hmm. But the talent that they have outside of the commanding spot of quarterback is so exciting. And I think that with the defense they got going on, it's going to be a fun game. I think. And I could definitely see Philly just kind of turning something on with AJ Brown, Smith, Dallas Goedert, all of them. But I think every year you have that first game of the season, there's like something that's like, oh shoot, can't believe that happened. And then all the big networks are like, what's going wrong? And it's usually Dallas. What's going wrong in Dallas? What's the coach? What are they doing? Like what how could they have possibly lost to this team? Well, this year it'll be Philly.
Man.
It's always Dallas. So but this year it'll be Philly, and they'll be like, what's wrong in Philly? And there'll be a coaching controversy right off the first week.
I too am gonna ride on Detroit, man, and I'm taking Detroit all season long. I mean, Detroit is honestly
16-0.
they are. I mean, I just said it in the last take there. Like somebody needs to dethrone Green Bay this year, and like if there's a team to do it, Detroit might be able to do it. Minnesota more likely, but I think Detroit gets into the playoffs this year. I really do. But here's why. Hard Knocks, right? I don't know if you guys watch the Hard Knocks, right? So they are home. That dome is completely sold out. They only have standalone seats now, right? Like they're offering standalone tickets, right? So they're telling fans you can come in, but you're gonna have to stand. Like that place is gonna be packed to the house, right? And then
Crazy.
Dan Campbell, I will go to war for that man. Like that dude, there no other coach has gotten me more fired up than that dude. I mean, last year on the podium after Justin Tucker hit that 63-yarder, like he's sitting there crying for his players because it's like, man, how do they lose that game? Like I want to go to war for that guy. These guys want to go to war for him. Do not sleep on Detroit. I've been saying it all offseason. Do not sleep on them.
Mhm.
Detroit. I am taking Detroit here as the home team. Packed house. You're just going to hear Lions fans just going nuts, dude. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be such an exciting game.
Ah. Oh, yeah.
I'm amped up already just thinking about it. So, yeah, I mean, so that's those are our 5 games, right? Those are our 5 games this week. The
Mhm.
5 closest point spreads. We might be off 1 or 2 there. I really like that. I really like this Detroit Philadelphia game. I mean, I almost want to talk the rest of the 10 minutes of the show about it, but we're not going to do that.
We have 2 more segments.
We do.
Come on. We got this.
So we got this thing that we do. It's called CJ's Upset Pick of the Week. It's kapow, right? So this is CJ, yeah. This is CJ's Upset Pick of the Week. So CJ, tell us what your upset pick of the week is. This is
All right,
where
so I was going through the games, and I picked out this particular game, and I picked the Jaguars over the Commanders. So the reason I did so the Jags, they went out, they signed Christian Kirk, Zay Jones to add to the offense. They signed the linebacker from Atlanta. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he led the league in with 131 solo tackles. So they're going to be able to beef up, that linebacker corps. And they also they had 2 first-round draft picks in Travon Walker and Devin Lloyd. They're getting back Travis Etienne, who's a playmaker. And then Doug Peterson's going against, Carson Wentz, where they were both coach and
a
QB.
little history there. Okay.
So Doug Peterson knows Carson, and they played Carson Wentz last year in the playoffs. I mean, they knocked out the Colts. So, and I just think it'll be a close game. But hey, I'm taking them. Jaguars, new coach, new team, new players. Let's go.
I will add that to my parlay.
I like it.
And
Woo!
Commanders don't have Chase Young, so I put that into a factor too. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like it. I like it a lot, man. I like Jacksonville. I'm excited for Jacksonville this year.
So kapow.
So the kapow, I like that. So that's gonna be a weekly segment there. A weekly segment. CJ's upset pick of the weeks. So now we're gonna jump into. We wanted to do end of the year awards, right? But this isn't gonna be your typical end of the year awards. This is gonna be more like your end of the year fantasy awards. Fantasy. House of Dragon. So Evan, you had picked out the categories. So why don't you lead off the segment here?
All right, well, we'll just go right off the bat. I got it in here. Fantasy MVP. Ooh, MPV. In MVP. And so these are just pretty much the team that is maybe not the number one overall points, but a guy that you were able to like snag. It could be the number one overall person that you think want to play, but somebody who maybe even able to snag in the second, third round, or even later, and somebody who's just going to actually be that player to kind of be that determining factor getting you into the playoffs. So with that being said, I'll lead this one off. And I've selected Alvin Kamara as my MVP.
Ooh.
With him, now I know it's not a low key name, but with where he had been going, ADP throughout the season, it kind of crept up a little bit, dropped, crept back up. So it just depending on when you drafted and whatnot. But even leading up to this week, he's still, a lot of people were leaving him out of the top 10 running backs. I saw plenty of drafts where he was just falling that far. And so he's going to be somebody who's going to creep up, be a top 5 running back.
Interesting.
And I'll shoot it over to you, CJ.
Well, so I think I went with Justin Jefferson. I think he's going to be the overall number 1 receiver. And like I was saying earlier, they're bringing in the new head coach. He wants to air it out more. He's a phenomenal player. He's striving. I could see him putting up numbers like Cooper Kupp, but he's more of your like boom. So he's not going to have as much receptions, but he'll have the yards and touchdowns. So yeah, I like JJ, the Jetta.
Mm-hmm.
So just to put some clarity on this, Evan, you're talking maybe ADP versus their value, right? Like, so
it doesn't have to be that. Yeah, that's the way I kind of look at it. MVP, it could be, that number 1 overall guy. If you got, what Jonathan Taylor, I just view it as, hey, barring your draft position, a guy that maybe could sneak up and actually be that guy to carry you through.
Okay, well, I might be a little original here with this then. I think I'm going to give it to the quarterback that we were kind of hyping up earlier in the show. I'm going to give it to Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts makes a huge jump this year, and he wins some people leagues. I mean, we saw in a couple of super flexes, like he was going early. Obviously in super flexes you want to draft quarterbacks early, but like he was going ahead of other quarterbacks that you're like, okay, like he was going ahead of Joe Burrow and oh Jesus, I just lost my train of thought there. But those types of pocket passing, consistent quarterbacks, like he was going ahead of them, obviously because of the upside with the running. And I think Jalen Hurts is, the league MVP this year. Or not league MVP,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Fantasy MVP. Fantasy
Okay.
MVP.
I was going to make you eat those words. Just hold it right there.
No,
League.
no, God, no.
Done. All right, so then that's that one. We've got 4 total categories we're going to kind of go over. I'll list those real quick. So we'll do the fantasy rookie of the year, the biggest flop, so somebody who you think is going to just take a big stumble where they are, but then also like biggest rebound or biggest jump, somebody who may have not have been the greatest in the past, like last year, but is getting a rebound in here, kind of like that biggest jump. Do y'all have? I know I may have changed that up on you guys live here, so I'll go ahead and take rookie if y'all need to recalibrate. So I have for my fantasy rookie, George Pickens is who I think is going to be the fantasy rookie player. Yeah,
I like that a
He's-
lot.
yeah, I like he was, if he had come out a year before outside of his injury, and Georgia, the hype that was coming out on him was crazy, and he is a just freak athlete, and just the injuries situation that he had found himself in at Georgia was not playing him up to, he would have had a first round draft capital, and I think he is that first round draft capital type kind of player. So, yeah.
Go ahead, CJ.
Um, I'm gonna stick with the same category and pick a receiver. I'm gonna go with Drake London. He was drafted, the number one receiver coming off the board. They have Kyle Pitts, but they need somebody else to throw to, and I think him and Mariota is gonna produce out there in Atlanta. So I like Drake London.
That's interesting. I'm gonna go with running back Damian Pierce.
Well, I figure you would. So that's why
Ooh.
I went with it.
Oh, dude, I mean, to come in, solidify RB1, they
Yeah.
obviously they find so much value in him. He's gonna get his touches. I think he's gonna take a lot of pressure off of Davis Mills, which is gonna create opportunity for them downfield. So I think Pierce is hands down fantasy rookie of the year, just because I think going into the season already, he's in the best position to be such. So
It's crazy. Like Brees Hall was selected first as the first RB. So
Yeah, I just think, I mean, I could see that talent wise he is, but you've got Michael Carter over there still. I think that's one of the biggest players. And I'm not saying Carter's a better runner, but we're better than anything
right.
Damien's having to face.
yeah, well, I mean, what he's got
Rex
Rex Burkhead, red zone
Yeah.
Rex. Like,
I that's it
It's-
too.
Yeah. No, I like that. All right, so what do y'all have for biggest flop?
I'll
Ooh.
take the lead here. I'm going to take Najee Harris as the biggest flop.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, just based
Ugh.
off of early, early talks coming out of camp. Like, they want to reduce his, reduce his utilization, right? They don't want him to get as many touches as possible. I think George Pickens, Mitch Trubisky, Deontay, I think that all creates more offensive value for them than Najee Harris does. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still going to be productive, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he falls back in the running back rankings.
Me?
Well, I'll
oh no,
you
yeah.
go.
Well, I'll go. So I'm gonna take. I know he was a top running back at towards the end half season of last season, but I'm gonna go with Leonard Fournette. I think Rashad White is definitely going to take over that running back position with his, cash, pass catching ability and the way he plays. I really like Rashad White. So
Based on Evan's reaction, I feel like that was his take.
It's the exact guy I have. I have Leonard Fournette. Yeah, man, it has to do with, Rashad White going in there. I'm not the biggest Leonard Fournette, fan. I think he's great for what he does. And fantasy wise, he has his production, but I just, for the way the league is and the way that team is going to be designed, I don't think he's either durability or lack of utilization, as much utilization. So yeah.
well,
Then, hey, that's how that works. I like it the way your mind thinks.
Oh, so you guys don't like my Najee Harris take, huh?
The biggest rebound.
the biggest. Here, I'll go for that. So we're taking a who we think is gonna outdid what they did last year, right?
Yeah, just somebody who underperformed, could be for any X reason.
I'm not gonna say this player underperformed, but I believe he was a rookie last year. So I'm gonna go with Rashad Bateman, the receiver. I really think he could turn into a top 25 receiver for the Ravens with that connection with Lamar. So you got to take some pressure off of Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman when he was playing in Minnesota. Dude, he was phenomenal. I just think that skills is going to translate for that offense, and I like him as a top 25 receiver.
I like that. It's like a awesome rebound because he did have a lot of hype coming out, but obviously situation and whatnot. But that could also be a sleeper pick because he does have a really good chance there. On my end, I'll stick with the wide receiver rebound, but it's like the guy who ended up 32nd overall on fantasy points last year.
Oh, wow.
Somebody who we've got in our top 10. I believe he's in our top 10. I think he's in my top 10. I don't know. It's AJ Brown. Is going to resurge back into, you had like a top 10 2 years before. He was the top 10 wide receiver, depending on your format. But I think this year he'll be back in that where he should be with his new team.
Like it. He's my one of my dynasty players.
Yeah, I've got him all over the place.
Traded from Fitz.
One of the reasons I did not do well in many leagues last year.
I'm trying to find the 2021 rankings just to know how much my guy's going to jump up.
Gotcha.
But maybe you guys have rankings in front of you? No?
I mean, I've got ours in front of us.
Well, I think Juju Smith-Schuster
That's
jumps.
actually
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think that's a. I don't really think I got to go in and explaining why he jumps. I think the credibility of Ben Roethlisberger versus Patrick Mahomes is huge. I think a new environment for him. I mean, he's gonna be targeted. He has weapons all over. I mean, you think about who they have, right? Mecole Hardman, MVS, Travis Kelce, and
Sky Moore.
Sky Moore, like Juju's he's a slack guy. He's an over the middle guy, right? And they love those crossing routes there. Andy Reid loves those crossing routes in Kansas City. So I think his targets go up, his yards go up. I mean, everything. I wouldn't be surprised if he is a top 25 wide receiver this year. So,
and just to give you background numbers on him, so yeah, I mean, the first 2 years he was a top 15 wide receiver. Both 2 years he was in. Last 3 he finished 66th, 25th, and then 139th.
He got hurt.
Well, he got hurt.
Yeah,
I mean, 66, 20. All right,
but still, he has the ability to do so. It's been that inconsistency, but I think I agree with you. At Kansas City, he's going to have he should be able to feast.
Feed me.
Yes.
Well,
that's before we end. Was there any college football player that might have surprised you this weekend? If you guys watched any games?
Oh yeah, I watched games for sure.
So I'll go. Anthony Richardson from Florida, I thought played one of the best games against Utah. If you haven't seen that pump fake that he did, and like his stock is only getting higher. So I was just curious if you guys had any players that you might want to shout out or.
I mean, right off, it's nothing deep or prophetic on there, but Braylon Allen, running back out of Wisconsin.
That
dude, I've loved him going in. I was really hoping to see him do something big, and he's just for what he is, he's NFL ready, like almost.
And that touchdown was crazy.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see what he's doing there. Upset to see some of the injuries, like Jackson Smith-Njigba. See that go down. Obviously, that team is not. They're gonna miss him, but they've got plenty of depth at that position. But it's the week 2 is always the true week 2 is always one of my favorite times to look at them because you should see that biggest jump from the players. Even if you have like Heisman caliber guys going in, they may have underperformed. You should see better performances this upcoming week.
Yeah, I was going to talk about underperformance. I actually wasn't too impressed with CJ Stroud's performance.
Agree with you.
So
that
a lot of those top end QBs.
Yeah,
were kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. Week 2, yeah, I lost my train of thought. So it was just, week 2 will be really interesting, and that'll be something to have for next week's show. There, how about some highlighted college players? Start getting that, start building up that Devy, right? The Devy side of it.
Hell yeah.
So, but all right, everybody, that's pretty much gonna do it for us tonight. We got week 1 this week, so I can't wait to follow up on that, see how we all did with our picks. Go Bills. I had to do it. I had to do it.
And if you can think of a bet that we should try to throw out there for the thing, comment on this segment that we posted, or even just comment on our main thread and Twitter, whatever.
Absolutely.
We'd love to hear it because
Either I'm gonna be up.
we'll have to follow through with that next week.
But yeah, be sure to check us out on Twitter at MBTG_podcast. Check out our rankings and Dynasty rankings. That is available. And thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Yo, we actually have people talking on YouTube.
Wow.
Oh, there's chit chatters we're missing.
Oh man, chit chat. Or now we're gonna. So sorry. I didn't see you.
I don't.
He said 0. Davis Mills MVP. I love that.
Ah, yes.
I'm a huge Scott Norwood.
I thought you were gonna do some Davis Mills. That's why I didn't pick him. Fitz.
Oh,
Right.
really? Well, I didn't want to. I mean, of course, a quarterback's gonna have a big jump in fantasy. Like I just felt like Juju Smith sounded more sound. I felt like it sounded more sound.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I like that.
Go Eagles! I'm God. Jesus is chiming in, guys. He's saying he's God. This is getting a little crazy. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll catch you guys next week.